everybody. Welcome to Live with Lil Season 1 finale. Oh my gosh, the most amazing people on today. Ming Na Wen, Agent May, that's you. And David Crabtree, editor extraordinaire and now director.
Thank you.
And Zachary But Abel, live chat king.
Hey.
Hello.
Gosh, there he is. Thank you so much for doing this, both of you. I've been giddy all day at the thought of like seeing another human being that I know, but also just watching this finale with both of you. I'm fangirling and also hot.
Oh yes, you are. You are hot.
And we're coming from all over the globe today again. So Ming, are you in La La Land?
I'm in La La Land.
Looking stunning as ever with that Californian sun.
Yes. And I just found out David's in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite cities. So.
Van is amazing. I'm still in Indiana in my parents' basement.
Oh,
hey mom.
And Elizabeth, you're in London, right?
I'm in London. Yes.
That's
so
amazing.
we've pretty much got quite a lot of it covered, haven't we?
Yes.
Quite international.
Quite international. I appreciate you both doing it so much. Ming, you are the busiest woman in the world. There is not a day that goes by that there's not some casting announcement of you being in some huge blockbuster movie, massive Star Wars TV show, all of the above. So thank you.
It's all made
I
up.
really appreciate it. Yeah, imagine. It's just
I just pretend. I just put my pictures in something, and then I pretend.
Yeah, Eric's there photoshopping stuff in. Such a good idea. And David, thank you. I know you have a busy family and a busy work life, so
thank you. No, this is my pleasure and privilege. Thank you.
Are you working on anything in Vancouver that you can talk about, or no?
Not at the moment, no. Hopefully very soon, though. Yeah, just settling in right now.
Okay. And Zach, you're looking like just hot, and also
I haven't fixed my lighting. I feel like I'm still look like I'm in a morgue or something. I need to get better
we don't
ring
quite
lights.
get it right, do we?
Yeah.
Well, Lil, you always look flawless. So.
Oh my gosh, stop. I think it's just my pixelated Wi-Fi. But anyway, hey, let's press play because otherwise we'll just chat and flirt all night.
Okay, so how do we do? We press it at the same time, or?
Yeah, so I'm going to do a countdown and we'll press it together.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay.
Right, I'm going to ready. 3, 2, 1, play. Oh my gosh.
Should I turn down my sound, or?
Yeah, I'm going to turn my sound up just a touch, just so that I can hear, because there's just the tiniest bit. There's some amazing lines that you have, Ming, that are because Marissa Tancherone and Jed Whedon wrote this episode, and it's just so them, just the little quips, and you could tell they just had so much fun with this.
They did.
Do you how much?
I love how mundane this first scene is. It's like we know we're coming into a crazy situation in this finale, and then we start with this office scene where they're just kind of cruising around. People are bored at their desks. You have no idea what they're doing. Setting this up. This was really well done. Talk about well written and well performed, and everything was directed.
Was I supposed to skip the recap because I'm just starting on the?
You want us to pause?
Hold on, wait.
Pause.
Or I could just move forward. I could move forward 20 seconds. So, okay. Yeah. There we go.
Tell us
all right.
when you're at side. Oh, yeah.
Where are you guys at?
So I'm just at the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. badge thing.
That's what I'm at as well.
Yep. Okay, good.
Okay, perfect. Here we are. Yeah, when I first watched this again, I had to double check I was on the right show. There was no actors that we recognized, and that was a completely new set.
Exactly.
I was like,
Exactly. It was like, what is this about?
And it was really bright. Like there was a lot of light.
We're watching Office Space all of a sudden.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like we're always in the dark. We're always in the dark.
Always in the dark. Remember all our gorgeous
Oh my
costume
God.
fittings?
So we,
Oh,
we
yes.
start it now?
See everyone.
But sorry, David.
Oh, I didn't.
Right,
No,
we'd
but I'll catch
already
up. I'll
pressed
catch
play,
up.
I think.
No, we're
Yeah,
good.
we're in a huge fight scene, and May has the staff.
Oh, did we start again?
Oh, did we
Okay,
not?
we can.
Did you guys not? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. I fast forwarded.
Let's do it. Let's start right after that fight scene then with the jet.
Okay, perfect.
They're
Go.
right
I know David will handle the edit here.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, well,
You know about cues. Ming, do you remember that massive fight scene with the staff and the walls
Oh,
coming
yes.
apart, and like what can you take us through how something like that goes down? How do you rehearse it? How long do you have?
Well, it's difficult because we never have the space until the day of.
God.
And you, no matter how much rehearsal you put into it, when you're in the space, it's completely different, and you have to work it out with the cameras. And do we pause when we're talking, or we just let it run? Right?
No, we just let it run. Yeah.
Okay. And so it's tricky, you know. And with this one, I remember specifically one of the stunt guys got injured because he had to do a wire, and he was stunt doubling for I think J. August Wilson, and he had to be pulled and thrown into the wall, the bricks,
Right.
and all the bricks, you know, I mean, the bricks are all fake, so they're all foam, and that's okay, but the wall was real. And he slammed into it, you know, pretty hard. And that's always really scary because it just,
Yeah.
it reminds you that no matter how much we try to be careful and how much we're faking it and doing things, that the potential for injury is always there. So you know, that was tough because there was a lot of dust. I remember like the people had to like be up on top with their little net baskets of dust and they sprinkle it around you. You know, it's so insane what we do. It really is.
So
But,
how do you get your head around? So when something like that happens, you've rehearsed it a bit, maybe not in the space, and then you finally get in the space, and there are 10 people in that choreographed fight. We know it's the finale, so we're potentially, you know, there's no time to make that up in the next episode. You have to get it then and there.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
something like that happens where a stunt guy kind of gets injured or something goes a bit wrong. How do you then keep going? Is that difficult to just kind of muscle through?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times these stunt guys, they're so tough. They're amazing. They always go, "I'm okay," you know, I'm fine. While they're being put on the gurney, you know,
Yeah.
You're like doing CPR.
Yeah,
I'm fine. I'm okay.
I'm alive.
David will sort it out in the edit.
Yeah. Not dead yet, you know.
That was one
amazing.
thing I do remember though about the show is always great stunt crew. I mean,
Amazing.
Oh yeah.
those stunt doubles were like superheroes with the things that they could do and flips and things like that. And
Yeah.
really, really something.
Yeah, they're really amazing, and they take all the brunt of it, you know, and we take all the glory because even though I do like 80% of my own stunts and stuff, and all the dangerous stuff gets handed to them, you know, because if we get injured, we're out for a couple of weeks. That shuts down production. So you know, we have to rely on them. And I love them. They're amazing. They make us all look so good. But do you, when you do the edit, David, do you like see all of those, or do they just give you but you see all of it, right?
We get it all. I mean, anything that they rolled the camera on, and I look at it all. I mean, even before and after action, because you never know what you're going to see. So yeah, we would see every bit that you were doing. You know, and then of course there was double action, you know, that where the stunt double might do some of the same stuff that would go into maybe something that was more intense, like some crazy flip or wire, you know, some crazy thing that maybe you didn't do all of it, but you, like you said, you did a lot of it. And so even if the stunt double was going to do a lot of it, you were going to do a lot of it too, to kind of bring yourself into the moment that you needed for your performance. So yeah, we would see all of that. We would see you, you know, coming out of the role, and you know, being ready for your performance moments and all that stuff. And it was fun. It's so much fun to put those type of scenes together, especially those action scenes.
Well, what I love is when you guys speed up the film a little bit to make us look even more badass, you know, and to make that like hit, or to make that move go a little faster, and it's just like, it looks so much better.
You train hard though, Ming. You are good. Much of it is you. And I just now have to pause for a second, because you are about to have the most amazing line in this. I shouldn't really, but I'm going to do this. So just in case we're not at the same point.
Share that conviction and change the world.
Right.
So what do you say? You ready to change the world?
No. But I'm ready to kick some ass.
Yes! Did you hear that? I watched it on my own again today, and I was like whooping at the screen. It's just, this episode for Agent May, it's got all
I know,
the
but
classics.
you and Fitz. What's that? What's the actor's name? I forget it. What's the actor's name again?
It's so funny because we're used to saying these character names so much, and then you don't do it for a year and a half or whatever it's been. And yeah, I'm the same.
I mean, I'm just looking at the pictures, and oh my God, we had Ruth Nega, Bill Paxton.
It's crazy. I mean, it's just crazy.
Dearest human being in the world. I mean, we had BJ. It's so crazy to look back on. That was our first season.
I know, such babies.
Yeah.
Ming, I'm getting a lot of questions about your preference between Felinda and then the May Ward romance.
Did we already sleep together by this point?
Yes, you've slept together and you called it off also.
David, when you guys edit, do you see every episode and collaborate together?
No, not so much. Yeah, we usually just focus on our episode, which is every third episode. But we do jump in and help each other too. If someone gets buried in a lot of stuff, we may jump in and do a scene or two, and then the other editor, the main lead editor, will actually probably rework it to their taste once they get it.
Right. Yeah, because I we never filmed that love scene between May and Ward. So there was nothing to edit there. I think that would have been a really fun edit.
Yeah, who edited that one?
There was none. I just walked in with a bottle of scotch, and that was it. You know, it's Marvel. It's
network television. Oh, God bless it. So perfect.
No side boobs. You know. Were you part of that? Because apparently when I was putting on my shirt in one of the episodes, a little bit of my side boob showed, and they had to erase my side boob. So I looked like a little boy, like literally like.
Yeah, I mean, these are the type of things that we have to deal with all the time. We can't, we're so surprised at, the things that get flagged and the things that they let go. It's like, it's amazing that they flag something that seems like it's not, it may not be a big deal, but it's in the rule book and they just don't allow it.
Well,
I know. Pull a heart out of a man. That's okay. Keep that in.
Yeah, the rib.
The side boob.
Yeah. The side boob.
No.
Yeah.
None of that.
It's worse that they took your boob away from you. They didn't even just do a different angle, It's like...
By the way, I love all this stuff in the submarine, all this emotional stuff.
Oh,
I would like to watch this again.
This was our audition scene.
Yeah, I thought this was the audition scene.
That's
it
right.
really?
Yeah,
Yes.
so crazy. It was a version of this and pretty close to this. And I just remember.
Was it weird doing it again? Like much later?
Yeah, it felt
and not with me rehearsing it with you before your screen test.
I know, I imagined you there the whole time. Yeah,
it's because of you that she got the part.
Yeah, it
really is.
Yeah,
We workshopped these scenes so much. We did so many okay, you be the casting director, I'll come in, I'll say my name. We just did it to death, that scene. No, I remember this. Well, number one, I hardly had any days on this episode. So once this was done, I'd kind of done it, because this scene was basically my only scene. And I remember being on the outside with Jed.
Oh, look how happy
outside of that pod. I know. And he was so brilliant. Although they didn't, when you have emotional scenes like that, they don't tend to overnote you. They just kind of let you get on with it, Ming? And I didn't speak to Ian really at all until we were in the scene.
Do you forget I played Agent May? I had hardly any emotional scenes at all. I mean, that was the one thing I was always so envious of Elizabeth's part, and you know, especially with Ian together, because they would get the most beautifully written human, where they spoke to each other in human terms, even in all the technical mumbo jumbo. Sometimes they would have moments where they're actually just conversing, and it was awesome. And you guys were just so amazing.
Emotionally and flawed in such a beautiful way. You know, just like see the imperfections and not knowing how to communicate, yet they were, you know, finding a way to do it. I always loved that. And I loved Elizabeth, I loved your eternal optimism, you know, even in that situation. You know, it's like you always saw the positive. You always, you know, just refused to see the negative.
Yeah, it's kind of nice positive messaging, isn't it? And they're so like Mo and Jed. Fitzsimmons were kind of based on them, and that's just exactly how Mo is, isn't it, Ming? Like, she's just kind of so positive.
BJ is bringing the funk. He's bringing the funk.
Oh yeah, he is.
I love my BJ.
Yes, he loves you too, Ming. We've had him on, and we spent a good portion talking about how much we love you, didn't we, Zach?
And same right back at him. He was one of the most lovely, funny, such a good man.
Yeah,
we had a lot of great laughs. We really did.
Yeah, you did.
So
David,
some of this. I'm sorry. Are you the interviewer?
Oh my gosh, please.
But
no, go.
But like in shots like that, where there's some explosions and then there's probably some where there weren't. Like, when does the special effects factor into the edit? I've always wondered, like, what comes first? The special effects put into the scene before you edit, or you edit it and then special effects go?
Well, it's kind of both, because I guess the special effects are the fire and you know, and all that stuff, and the wires that are on the set, and then the visual effects, you know, just
and then the visual effects.
Yeah. So that shot, you know, where everybody went flying and there was an explosion. If I remember it correctly, you know, it's like they shot them reacting to an explosion. They get pulled and they go flying away, and then you add the explosion and remove the wires, and you've got that shot. And maybe speed it up, or you know, or do something with some kind of speed change too.
So amazing.
So amazing.
Yeah, where do you start? No, go ahead. Where do they? You're like, I don't understand that at all. That process.
Yeah. Can you talk us through it? Like they say you're doing the finale, and then, you know, you're involved in prep in quite a big way, I'm assuming.
Well, not as much as a director would be, but I mean, certainly we go to a tone meeting, and tone meetings were exceptionally detailed on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. long.
So
That's right. You've heard about them. So they would be hours long, and they would go through every scene, detail by detail, and the director would be there, and the editor would be there, and of course the writers and the showrunners. So we did, in that way we're involved in prep, and then other than that, we're ready to to start getting it. When we get the footage in, that's when we really dive in. As far as putting them together, visual effects, I mean, that's or action scenes like that. I mean, it's interesting with that particular action scene, where the with the truck and all that stuff. That action scene was probably 4 times as long when I first cut it, and it was moving too. It wasn't like it was slow. There was just a lot more action to it. There was the funk, when you threw the sound box out there. There was a lot more, fighting that happened. There was a lot more driving that happened, a lot more driving, all this stuff. And when we were all said and done, it's like, we had to save a lot more time for the emotion of it. So it was just kind of ended up being bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, sorry, Ming. No,
that's okay.
David, how much would you say on a normal episode, you have 42 minutes it gets to air. How much of that, like your first cut, how much are you then trimming down from that original cut?
It can be a lot. I would say it depends. I mean, you hope that it comes in maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes over only. But certainly there's been moments, or episodes that I've worked on and on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in particular, where they'd be a lot longer than that. And if I remember correctly, I mean, I always try to cut tight, because I know that it's gonna need to move when it's all said and done. It's a television show, so we've got to get through it. If I remember correctly on this finale, it was pretty long. It was a long script. It was really packed, because there was a lot that had to be resolved, and then, action wise, and then there was a lot of storyline stuff that had to be resolved after that. So this particular one might've been 15 minutes over.
Wow. That's so much decision making. I can't even imagine. And is that like director, editor together, like Elizabeth you directed one. So do you collaborate together at the same time, or do you, David, then take that 15 minutes extra and whittle it down and then show it to the director?
Well, it's a combination. I mean, you want to be careful not to cut out too much, but it's also a good idea to maybe bring some ideas to the table of where things can be truncated, and like there might be some obvious things that you might want to just skip past. And so you bring ideas like that to the table, but the editor works on their cut first. They get a few days after production is done. The director comes in for 4 days, and then that's a great collaboration between the editor and the director. And Elizabeth could tell you about her experience with that. And then the producers come in for, usually, it could be a week or longer. And then, of course, to get the studio and network run as well.
And that you do that in the space of, so we would start, you'd prep a bit before the episode for the tone meeting, but you wouldn't really until you get your hands on the footage. So from getting your hands on the footage to turning in the episode for the first kind of round of notes, how long is that?
Turning in the episode to the producers, you mean, or to turn it into the studio? Okay, yeah. So you've got less than that. You've got maybe 3 or 4 days to finish your cut, and then the 4 days with the director, and then you're going to turn in that version to the producers. So that's about a week and a half. And then,
that's crazy.
Yeah. And then, and then of course we have situations where you're up against an air date, and then it's all bets are off. Then you're working weekends. Other editors are jumping in.
It takes me 4 days just to figure out how to decorate like my bathroom, like what accessories go, like which towel do I like? Do I like the white towels with a little bit of the gray, or do I like the gray towel with texture? I mean, I can't even imagine how much decision making goes into the editing
all
process.
the timing with your performances and I think what's so impressive, obviously so many impressive things about you, but
No,
with
of
the
course,
character of May, you have the, you know, the instinct side of your actor brain that goes, I'm gonna, you know, make decisions in the moment and be the actor. But then you have so much of Agent May that is action that has to be so precise, and you can't improvise at all in a fight scene, really, right? In terms of, you know, kind of where you do the kick and, you know, exactly where you throw the punch. Is that something that you have always been good at, being able to kind of flick between those two brains? Or do you just do
I guess. It's weird. It's like you just do it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like, right, oh, this is here's your emotional moment. Oh my gosh, where like you're both sacrificing yourselves. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I love that the light, like your eyes are just, with all the tears that you're holding back between you and Ian, the lighting is just enough to shimmer those tears. You know, it's like so crazy.
Yeah,
It
the
adds,
weird thing about
it adds to the emotion so much.
yeah, it's nice and you don't know that. That's what's so lovely about being on a show that's well lit, is that you have, as an actor, you've got no control over that. And so, and the, you know, the way that you're lit can make it look like the you know, $1 billion scene, or, you know, a Zoom scene. And the
that's
acting
why
is the same.
a DP is so good and so important, as well as, you know, I mean, David, like David directed this, right? David Straighten.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Oh my God, here's the moment. Here's the moment.
Oh yeah, everybody has to watch this.
Wait a minute. Okay, the big reveal. Where were you guys when you shot? Oh, here's the man.
Holy shit.
Was he really there? Was he really there when you stretched out your arm? No, I didn't think so.
So we shot that separately, only because this is funny too, in this hyperbaric chamber, because they knew the only way that I would make it through a scene and legal wouldn't be involved, that I was kind of somehow trying to stalk him, to trap me in a hyperbaric chamber. They didn't let me out between takes. I was in there the whole filming of the scene. I was locked inside.
What? Why? Because you were stalking him? No.
I think they were just worried that I would maybe say something. I'm not sure.
You'd sent like 50 DMs.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to Friday.
Yeah, I know. Hey, let's grab
Hey, Diet Crafty.
Yeah, he was so lovely and did all his off-camera work, and, you know, really didn't need to. It was awkward because you couldn't really hear through the glass, so he was having to shout his lines and lip read, and I was trying to do the same. And yeah, he was just such a nice guy.
He just looks so cool.
Yeah,
he just looks so, whatever he wears,
he's just cool.
So
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he's just cool.
Anybody that's not watching along, we're talking about Samuel L. Jackson on an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes,
oh my
Thank
God,
you,
awesome.
David.
Yes.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, you're so right. Yeah, he just has.
We're so scared to announce anything. We've been trained so well for 7 years that even now we're like, don't mention his name.
Oh my gosh, remember, this was such a huge secret.
Huge secret. See, it's still like it's in our
God,
blood.
I'm scared.
Like, don't mention his name. Don't mention his name.
Yeah. Was this the one where they had the eye patch over the Shield logo, or was that for the? Didn't ABC release something the week before that had kind of the trailer for the finale, and it had an eye patch over the bird, and we were going, well, for goodness sake, that's so obviously that Sam Jackson's coming back. And then people would ask us about it. Yeah, and we couldn't say, anything. Patch? Oh, I don't know. Yeah. He's so cool. He just walks into a room and is just, the energy changes in the room. There's a king in the room.
Right?
Yeah. So crazy. Do you ever get nervous to edit stuff like with, huge stars in it like that, David? I mean, obviously you.
No, I mean, because we're not.
Stars, but...
Yeah, I mean, we're not face to face with them, so I mean, it's just exciting. But we do feel. Oh yeah, this crazy
scene.
action.
Oh my God, such a good scene. And
this was actually one of my favorite fight scenes that I ever did. Because we used everything. We used a chainsaw. We used a stick. We used, oh my God, it was
nail gun.
insane. The nail gun. That's right.
It's so long as well. I mean,
it was such a fun fight scene.
What for something like that, did they give you the space, or even on that kind of scale, you didn't get the space to?
No, we just had a sound stage, that a little open space, and they say, okay, there's going to be a table here and a chainsaw, and they'll probably give us like, I don't know, some round thing to work with, and it's all fake things that we work with on the right before we shoot.
And then how long did you get to learn that?
Not long, probably a couple of hours at the most. We don't have a lot of time, remember, because we're in the process of shooting
that's 2 hours stolen from shooting another scene that they'll be like, hey Ming, like, you fancy eating lunch today?
You got a
few
few minutes?
Come and
come on over and work this out, and it's like, it's fun though. It's like a good workout. Oh, Colson with the gun. Oh, Clarky.
So good.
Colson. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of special effects, or visual effects, actually.
Yeah.
And the props. Oh, so much. I wish I had stolen some of those props. I'm so bummed.
That's what I think as well, because at the time you're so over the props, you're over the costume, you never want to see it again because you've just had it in your hand for 18 hours straight. And then now I think, I want that all over.
This is my favorite line. This is one of the lines that I love. You were never on top.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm not at that point yet.
Great.
May has amazing lines in this episode, and
you were
another
never
line
on top.
Always.
It was so funny. That's my favorite, because of the sexualness of it. But
and it's true too.
Yeah.
Just in that moment, I feel like I'm at a different place to you. I wonder if I'm ahead or
I'm a little bit behind. Yeah.
Oh my God. You've just gone through a wall in mine. Are you guys past that?
Yeah, but I can pause it.
Oh no,
I'll
go forward.
I'll pause it. Because there's a whole fun stuff with Samuel Jackson and
Deathlock and
all of that.
You just knocked him out on mine. I think
because it's intercut, you had nail gun. Actually, you were ahead.
Oh no. Okay, right. I'll pause.
Yeah, you're ahead.
I'm ahead.
It must be hard to do this with everyone.
Well, you'd think I'd have it down by now, Ming. I mean, we're at the end of season 1. I've done.
I am amazed your dedication
all of season
and
1.
I am so amazed at it. It's dedication to do this.
I love it because we just get to hear everything about how people start, and
that's the most interesting.
I feel like I cornered you probably in that first. I've just pressed play now. Should we all just play and see where we get to?
Okay, let's see what happens.
I
have to give some credit to a couple of stunt people for that last bit.
Yes,
because going through that wall, that's one of those things that I can't do and obviously I'm happy I didn't do it, but a young, wonderful stunt girl, Sam Jo, she had to go through that wall, and I remember they did not score it enough. So the first time she went through that wall, she bounced back. fellow.
No.
Are you talking about
And
it's
it
Samantha
was-
Wynn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was, oh my gosh, my heart stopped. And I was just like, guys, you have to score that wall more. I mean, you know, but you don't really know. You don't know
Yeah,
at
don't
the
know till
time.
you try it.
And you
Yeah.
can't test it because we had like maybe 1 or 2 walls available for her to go
Yes.
through. So, so I remember that. And then, I don't know how you edit the whole sequence but it was the best. It was so amazing because, that turning spin kick is tough to do in heels. Okay.
Oh my God.
And
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
the other thing. Everything you do is
yeah.
in heels.
And you know, and I can do it, but I was just like, no, I'm not feeling it today. So, so, you know, she does it and I mean, it's beautiful, right? And I just love how I do the first spin and then the edit does the whole beautiful kick and then I land and then you see my face. So I'm gonna give it away that I did not do that kick. I just have to say it was amazing editing, David. That was so flawless, so
Thank you.
brilliant.
It's fun. That stuff is fun.
You're good at the finishing moves. Nobody does
Yes.
the finishing stunts. Just
Nobody
quite
comes
like
out of
you.
that spin the way you do, Ming. That's it.
No,
That's your move
seriously.
right there. Then the
Yeah.
hair flip. You got to do the hair
Oh, the
flip.
hair! You gotta do
Yes.
the hair.
Yeah.
You gotta
That's
do the
right.
hair
That's
reveal.
right.
I
There it
practiced
is.
that, man.
There it is.
Oh, if only we had the hair, Zach.
Because you know the
Come
whole
on.
thing is you want to make the audience feel like it's me that's doing
Yes,
it.
the reveal. David, this might be a longer answer than you care to give or we have time for, but can you give a brief, if somebody's interested in editing,
Mhm.
what would your advice be? How might they get into it? What should they be doing?
Well, I mean, nowadays, everybody can be doing their own projects. So that's, that's one thing is go out and make your own films and edit them, or, work with filmmakers that are, people are going out and making their own films. But I mean, the path would be, try to find a great editor and try to be their assistant, and just learn as much as you can from the best people that you can. And then you'll get scenes to cut, and eventually, you get your own shot and a chance to do it. But that's the path. You become an assistant. You get into post-production, find editors you want to work with, become an assistant editor, and then climb up the path that way.
Yeah. And now you're directing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I love it. I always say that. Editing, is kind of like the great complex puzzle where you get to take all these pieces of performance and camera and put it together. But as a director, you actually get to make those pieces.
Yeah. But are you editing in your head because you were such an editor first?
I can't turn that off. I cannot. There's no way. It's like there's no way that my head is not editing when I'm shooting.
So when you're shooting a scene and you're watching the actors,
mm-hmm.
You're already in your head going, oh, I want to take that piece. Oh, I want to take that piece.
Absolutely. And I'm thinking about how they'll cut together and when I want to go wide and all those things. And absolutely. And the other part is, I think it helps me to realize that, oh, you know what? I don't think I got that particular moment yet because it hasn't really felt like it locked in yet. Seeing like whether it's performance or some kind of beat that needed to happen. I think that it definitely helps that the brain is already wired that way. Yeah.
I worked with a director when I was doing Make It or Break It, Norman Buckley, and his background was in editing. And so his days, like we would always have 1 or 2 for the actors. Because he already knew what he wanted and he knew he had that. And he's like, okay, now here's a couple, like you guys, maybe there's some magic out there, play. Mm-hmm. But it was always like an economy of time because he already knew. And it was interesting, his background, how that differentiated from other directors we worked on with the show. That it was fascinating because you could see that he knew exactly kind of when he had it. And then he was like, okay, let's just see if some magic happens now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love directors that were editors. You guys are usually so fast and efficient, and yeah, they know you,
Yeah.
you know what you
What you
need.
want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Norman was a great editor and is a great director now and producer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ming, similarly for
Uh-huh.
you, oh, what do you, oh my gosh,
No,
you're
it's just
seeing
like
with
every so
Sam.
often every so often I just glance down, you know, and I'm just
What was this
reminded.
like?
He's talking to
This-
Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh my gosh, just, I mean, and you're standing too. I love, I just love
I don't know.
you.
I mean, you know, it's just bringing back so many memories. It's weird. Like
Yeah,
Brett
what
was
was this
still there. Brett
like?
was still
Yeah.
there. You know, it's like so crazy.
And it was at the
It's-
end of such the I mean, you know, you've done so much, so many huge TV shows, but we were filming this episode at the end of a 10-month
Yeah.
slog of
And it's
just
such a
like,
turnaround because, like, you know, the kid is there, Jay August's son, you know,
yeah,
Chloe's,
super emotional.
Yeah.
you know, like all the people that were in the pilot episode is back for the
Yes.
finale.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, but you know, so much has happened in those 22. I've forgotten all about that. How much
Yeah.
has happened.
Is
Wow.
there anyone that you've been in a scene with, Ming, or worked with that you get like starstruck over? Or because I mean, you've just worked with the most huge names. Do you ever
I get
like,
starstruck over not just actors, but like people who, you know, are legends in their fields. I get very, you know, I mean, I was a huge Bill Paxton fan before, so I loved every minute with him. He brings the party every day.
yes,
And you
as do
know,
you.
thanks.
That is true.
And Samuel Jackson was, you know, so fun because when I got to do a scene with him, I was just like, you know, this was pre Mandalorian and stuff, but I was just like, oh my God, you were a Jedi. Tell me all about it. You had a lightsaber. And he's like, you know, I told George Lucas I wanted my own color. And I wanted purple. There were no purple, you know, lightsabers, and he gave that to me. I mean, I'm doing a terrible Samuel Jackson impersonation,
No,
but he was just so cool about it. You know, it's just like, oh my God, you're the one that suggested the purple lightsaber to George Lucas. That is amazing. That is beyond cool, you know? So
It's just so joyful to see you two just completely take the Star Wars world by storm, because you
well,
are
he
just
has yet
such
to be a Disney princess. Okay.
no.
So when
No,
he does that,
you've
when
got
when
it.
Samuel Jackson becomes
Yeah.
Disney princess,
Then we can talk. Yeah.
Then-
No, you are an official legend. You've just but
no.
to have so much passion for sci-fi and for Marvel and for Star Wars, and just, you know, it's just when you got Mandalorian, that was just, we were
That
just
was
so
great. That
happy
was
for you because we
amazing.
knew how much it means to you. And then
It's-
now, you know, Boba Fett,
Yeah, amazing.
you know, you probably can't say much about it, but we're just so proud to know you and to see this journey continue, because you
Well, if I'm
the
a like sort of an example of any, like, just giving the message that if you have a dream, really believe in it, believe in yourself, and it will come true, you know, because a little Asian girl growing up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, after like coming from, you know, Hong Kong to America, and it's not supposed to happen, but the fact that it has happened means that anything is possible.
Mhm.
So you just really have to believe in your dreams, you know, and believe that you have a right to them, and persevere and make it happen. So if that's any message from all this good fortune, it's that, you know. Oh, speaking of great people that I was starstruck with, I don't know, do you know Dean Kundi?
I don't think
He's
so.
a cinematographer, legend, Cundey. And I mean, he's been in like Jurassic Park. He was the cinematographer for Jurassic Park, for Apollo 13, for Escape from New York, Big Trouble in Little China, Roger Rabbit. Like, for me, he, you know, I go gaga over the behind the camera people. And I'm getting the chance to work with him. And I was just like, no. So I freak out at people like that. You know, I freak out at like just the behind the scene people. I love, that's why when Elizabeth told me that you were coming on, I'm like, oh good, we get to talk about behind the scenes shit. Because that's the magic too, you know, that people don't understand.
So much
is
of the story.
so vital.
Yeah.
So
and
vital.
That's where the family aspect comes from. And you were saying a bit, David, before we kind of streamed over about that Shield had this really nice family vibe. We were all on the same lot. We could kind of go into each other's offices, and you know, we could come to post and bug you guys. And
that was a great situation. The fact that we were all on the same lot, and you know, the big family was kind of there in, you know, under one tent. That's such a great situation to be able to go down to the set and to watch what's going on, you know, between take a little break from cutting and go over there and just be part of it. That was always great. I love those situations where everybody's together.
Yeah. And I think the episode has just finished, and it feels like in a minute I'll invite a couple people into the Zoom to ask questions.
Another amazing.
Oh yeah, I was talking about starstruck. I was like, I didn't know where to look. Yes, so lovely. But for both of you, you're both you're such masters in what you do and bring such joy to what you do and excitement, and are both now arguably at the height of your career. Like, these things don't happen overnight, I think, is also what I'm trying to say. That what you said completely just covered me in goosebumps, because it is the journey from being that small young girl that felt like this was a completely different foreign universe, and you've just always held on to that passion, and like you say, the belief that this future belongs to you, and you are now giving that permission and that future to so many other people that, you know, might have a dream regardless of what that is. And it's just so special. And I know you've inspired Zach and I a lot, and same with you, David. Like, you're branching into a new career and you're continuing to thrive and take chances, and it's just, you know, whenever, it's just cool. It's just really cool.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I mean, this was my honor and privilege to be here with you guys. So I appreciate it.
So great. Okay, I'm gonna invite a couple people in. Oh my gosh, this waiting room filled up so quickly. Okay, John, you coming in?
While we're waiting for John, there was a super question that came into the chat that was there anything that Ming or Lil that your characters didn't accomplish in the show that you wished that, like, oh, I would have had that one, like that thing? Was there anything?
What do you think, Ming? Like, would you wanted to?
I think I would have enjoyed, like, there's little Rachel. I think I would. Hi, Rachel. I think I would have really enjoyed, you know, just like, you know, when that moment when May was touching people and became other characters for a brief moment.
Gosh, yes.
Like, it would have been fun if I was able to, like, had a moment where I was Ming. Just
that would have been
that would have been so fun.
That would have been fun.
Hi guys.
Like, hi guys.
Hi Chloe. Hi Rachel. Chloe, let's go with you first. Do you have a question?
When you were filming season 1, since there was like so much pressure, were you ever allowed to improvise any scenes?
No. No.
It was pretty strict, wasn't it, on the script?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even if we had to change a word here or there, we would have to like discuss it with the writers and, you know, make sure that it was okay to change a line a little bit so that it was easier to say, or it made more sense for the character to say it that way. And, you know, and as actors, we have to respect the writers because they've put in so much time and effort in creating every word. You know, you don't think about it, but sometimes even if I go, can I say okay? You can do that. You know, just like even throwing in an okay, sometimes they're like, just say you can do that. You know, because for them, they hear it in their head and they've worked really hard over every word, every line, and every rhythm of things. So, you know, we as actors, we have to respect that. And then they, you know, they're flexible though, but very little improv.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say, Elizabeth? Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. And I think it's one of those where you pick your battles, you know, some things you really, and I remember in this in the scene in this episode, I wanted to, it said math, I say like, you know, do the math or something, and I as a British person would say maths with an S. And I remember going up to Jed like the week before, whenever we got, no, what would it have been, like a few days before when we got the script, and going, right, I'm just going to lay the groundwork for me as a British citizen. So here it goes. We say maths, you say math, and it became this whole thing. And, you know, we come to do the scene, and I never asked for a line change because was terrified most of the time. And he was like, yeah, totally, yeah, definitely, but just do one math. And I went, oh, okay. Clearly, that's what they use. And he told me after, he's like, yeah, we were never going to let you say maths. Americans would have had no idea what you were talking about. But you come up to me with like all this homework that I just said, okay, just do one math.
But they're good like that, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Jen
They're
and
clever.
Mo. They're good.
Yeah.
Because they got to keep the day going.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Sure. When we're on your back, you say whatever you want. Thank you for your question, Chloe. It's lovely to see you.
You too.
Rachel, how are you?
Good, you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Do you have a question?
Well, I actually feel really bad because I was actually on episode 119, but
that's okay.
But now it's like on my dad's account, but I got my camera fixed.
Hey, that's
good.
Fantastic.
You can ask anything from 119, 118, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay, because I don't want to take away a chance from someone else.
No, you go for it.
No.
This is your time. Do what Ming said. You take your
It's so
space.
sweet of you. Oh,
Yeah.
so sweet of you. Now hurry up and ask your question. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I finished all 7 seasons.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow.
Really satisfied with the ending. But I saw this question in the chat a lot, and I'm really curious. Ming, what did you do to prepare for the scenes where May was really emotionless?
You know, it's gonna sound funny, but it's really actually hard.
Yeah.
It's really tough to, like, on the one hand, as an actor, you feel like, okay, I'm not doing anything. And they're like, that's what we want. just say the lines, because there's a part of you, it's just a natural part of you to want to, you know, put some feelings into it. So
yeah,
it's you know, and still be able to get an idea across with just the words. But that's a good question. I had to constantly like remind myself, you know, that she has no emotions. She doesn't feel anything. Like, what do you draw from? as a human being to be like, okay, how do I not feel anything? What is that? What is that not to feel? It's like, it's a part of me that couldn't work out as an actor or as a person, so as a human being. So yeah, that's a really good question, Rachel. Yeah, it's hard.
You were the master at it, because I think it's also really difficult to do it and it not be flat. And it was all full and strong. Thanks. And like that's sort of it's so hard. And you always nailed it. So
that's a great point. That's a great point. Yeah, you really did. And I could see why that would be really hard. And especially for you, because you have like such a, big personality, and there's so much laughter and there's so much life that's coming from you all the time. And yet your part was to play the opposite of that and to completely, put a lid on all that.
But playing Agent May is actually a lot easier for me because I'm playing someone completely different. Mm-hmm. And there's almost like a safe space in that as an actor, because you feel like you could just completely mask, the nerdy, awkward you and become somebody else completely. And there's a great deal of comfort and freedom in doing that, actually.
Oh, that's so interesting. And it's nice being on something that runs as long as S.H.I.E.L.D., because then you get to trust the editors and the directors that, they're kind of steering you in the right direction, and that David's going to pick the best take and make us look good. I mean, thank goodness for post-production. You guys have
that was easy.
Goodness. Because we know we've had a few.
Oh my gosh, some bad days, definitely.
Some bad days.
Thank you so much for your question, Rachel. That was so kind of you and lovely of you to still.
And I just love we have so many young, wonderful new fans. It's so good.
Yes, we love you all. This is the part where I invite the rest of the waiting room, which my limit is 100. So we're going to flood it. It's going to get chaotic, and it's one of my most favorite bits. And whilst I don't want this to end, I will let you guys go. David and Ming, thank you so much for being here with us. It was just
sure. Thank you, Elizabeth, for doing it. And Zach.
Great
way
so
to start
fun. This was a real fun trip down memory lane. Thank you for that.
You're the best, Zach, as always. Thank you.
Oh, and I hope you two get to see each other soon.
I know, we're almost there.
We're almost there.
We'll get
and I hope
there.
I get to see you guys soon.
Yes. I know, more to the point. Gosh, when we can all hang out, that's gonna be.
We'll FaceTime you when it happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
When good. We see each other.
Yeah, when Lil and I get together, we'll FaceTime me.
When my house is completely remodeled, I'll have a S.H.I.E.L.D. reunion.
Yes.
That sounds amazing.
That would be fun. That would be so fun. Okay. Oh, Lil just froze. I gotta take a picture of that.
Oh, no.
You're back.
I'm so sorry. Oh wow, England Wi-Fi is holding on. Right, before it goes again, I'm going to invite everybody in, and we'll wait for a couple minutes.
So do we leave? Do we press leave?
I'll end it.
Okay.
I think we stay and
wave, and then after a couple minutes, I'll end it. Okay, you ready?
Sure. I don't know.
Here everybody comes. You mean you're like the queen?
Thanks for coming. Bye, Doc. Thank you. Part of the lot. So happy.
Coffee mug.
Hold on.
Hello. Hi, I'm really excited.
It is so chaotic in here.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much.
Let's do it.
Alone is the
Hey.
All doing well.
Bye.